Venomous cobra attacks pregnant dog, and what happens next will give you chills. The mother fights to survive and save her puppies. A race against time and venom begins. The ending leaves everyone completely speechless. If this story interests you, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and tell us which city you're watching from. We'll continue. I promise this will be the best story you'll hear in your life. The sun was rising slowly over the forest when Amber decided that this would be her last morning walk in that place. In 3 days, she would leave the small town of White Rock to take a job in New York, finally fulfilling her dream of working as a veterinarian in a major clinic. At 28, she felt it was time to aim higher, even if it meant leaving behind everything she knew. She was walking along the familiar trail when she heard a low whimper coming from the bushes. Amber stopped, paying attention. The sound repeated, weak, almost a sigh. Following the noise, she pushed aside the branches and found a golden-haired dog with a visibly swollen belly, panting and trembling. The animal looked at her with tired eyes but without aggression. "My God, you're expecting babies," murmured Amber, crouching down slowly. The dog tried to stand up, but her legs faltered. It was then that Amber noticed the 2 small punctures on the front paw, already swollen and dark. "Snake," she thought immediately, feeling her heart race. Without hesitation, she took off her shirt and improvised a stretcher. With extreme care, she lifted the dog, which weighed more than expected due to the advanced pregnancy. As she walked quickly back, she called Dr. Henry, the most experienced veterinarian in the region, who was also her former boss and mentor. "Amber, where are you?" Dr. Henry's worried voice echoed through the phone. "On the old road about 15 minutes from the clinic. I found a pregnant dog with a snake bite. The marks are very characteristic, and she's quite weak. Bring her straight here. I'll prepare the anti-venom." During the journey, Amber felt the dog's first strong contraction. Labor had begun at the worst possible moment. She stopped the car on the shoulder and, with trembling but determined hands, helped the first puppy to be born. A small, wet, tiny being that began to breathe after a few seconds of gentle massage. "You're a warrior," she whispered to the mother, who was instinctively licking the newborn despite her own weakness. They arrived at the clinic when the second puppy was on its way. Dr. Henry, a 60-year-old man with grey hair and steady hands, was already prepared. Together with Amber, they delivered the other 2 puppies while administering the antidote against the venom. "The situation is delicate," said Dr. Henry, checking the mother's vital signs. "The venom has spread quite a bit, but we got here in time. She'll need intensive care for the next few days." Amber looked at the 4 small beings cuddling up to their mother's belly and felt something stir inside her chest. She had always loved animals. That's why she chose the profession. But this situation was different. Perhaps it was the extreme vulnerability of the canine family, or the coincidence of having found them just when she was about to leave. "Doctor, I can take care of her right here for the next few days. My trip can wait." Dr. Henry studied her, with that paternal look she knew so well. "Amber, you have a unique opportunity in New York. You can't lose that because of what? My work." "Doctor, if this isn't what I'm doing now, then I don't know what being a veterinarian is." During the first 2 days, Amber practically lived at the clinic. The dog, which she had affectionately nicknamed Hope, was showing signs of improvement, but was still weak. The puppies were growing quickly, nursing and sleeping in regular cycles. The smallest one, however, worried Amber. It was visibly more fragile than its siblings. It was on the 3rd night that everything changed. Amber was checking on Hope when she heard loud voices outside. Through the window, she saw 3 men approaching the clinic. She immediately recognized Roger, a local farmer known for his brutality with animals. "Dr. Amber," the deep voice echoed through the clinic. "I need to speak with you." Amber felt a chill in her stomach. Roger was known for using dogs in illegal fighting rings, and there were rumors that he was looking for female dogs for forced breeding. She took a deep breath and went to the door. "Good evening, Roger. The clinic is closed. I heard you found an interesting dog. I came to make an offer." "There's no offer to be considered. The dog is under medical care." Roger took a step forward, but was interrupted by the arrival of a car. To Amber's surprise, it was Charlie, the guy who worked at the local gas station. Charlie was known for his kindness, but few people knew that he had served in the army. "Any problem here?" Charlie got out of the car calmly, but Amber noticed the tension in his shoulders. "No problem, young man. I just came to talk business with the doctor." At this hour of the night, Charlie strategically positioned himself between Roger and the clinic door. "I think you'd better come back tomorrow during business hours." There were a few seconds of silent tension. Finally, Roger backed down. "All right, doctor, but I'll be back. That dog interests me a lot." After they left, Charlie turned to Amber. "Are you okay? I saw them coming here and thought I'd better stop by." "Thank you, Charlie. I don't know what would have happened if you hadn't arrived. Can I take a look at her? I've always liked animals, but never had the opportunity to have one." Amber led him to where Hope was resting with the puppies. Charlie crouched down slowly and extended his hand. The dog sniffed and, surprisingly, allowed him to pet her. "She's beautiful. And the little ones?" Charlie smiled in a way Amber had never seen before. "Will you be able to find families for them?" "I haven't thought about that yet. First, I need to make sure they're all healthy." "And your job in New York?" Amber sighed. "It's complicated. I've already called twice asking for a few more days. They're not very happy, but they said they can wait until the end of the week." Charlie stayed silent for a few minutes, watching the puppies. "Amber, can I be honest with you?" "Of course." "I've always admired your work here in town. The way you care for the animals, how you truly care. I know you have big dreams, but have you ever thought that maybe your place is right here?" Amber felt her heart race. It wasn't the first time Charlie had shown interest in her, but always in a discreet, respectful way. And she, focused on her career, had never stopped to think about other possibilities. "Charlie, you don't have to answer now. I just want you to know that there are people here who really value what you do, and that if you decide to stay, you won't be alone." That night, after Charlie left, Amber stayed awake beside Hope and her puppies. For the first time in months, she questioned whether what she really wanted was in New York or right there, in that small clinic, caring for stories like the one she had just found in the forest. The fourth day dawned grey, with heavy clouds. That promised a storm. Amber arrived at the clinic earlier than usual and found a surprise. Charlie was at the door holding 2 cups of coffee and a bag with fresh bread. "I thought you might need breakfast," he said, somewhat awkwardly. "I also brought special food for nursing mothers. I researched online all night." Amber smiled, touched by the gesture. "Thank you, Charlie. That's very kind." They entered the clinic together. Hope was more alert, able to stand on her own to drink water. The puppies had visibly grown, but the smallest one still worried Amber. It weighed almost half as much as its siblings and had difficulty nursing. "How's our little warrior doing?" Charlie crouched down next to the box, watching affectionately. "Concerning. He's not gaining weight as he should. He might need supplementation." While Amber prepared a special bottle, Charlie gently played with the larger puppies. There was something natural about the way he interacted with them, a patience that Amber had never noticed before. "Charlie, can I ask you something? Why have you never had a pet?" He paused, his smile fading for a moment. "My childhood was complicated. My father thought animals were a waste of money. When I grew up and left home, I always thought I wouldn't know how to take care of them properly. You have a natural gift. Look how they trust you." The moment was interrupted by the phone. Amber answered, and her expression immediately changed. "New York?" Charlie asked when she hung up. "Yes. They said they can't wait any longer. Either I show up tomorrow, or they'll offer the position to someone else." The silence that followed was loaded with unspoken meanings. Amber fed the smallest puppy with the bottle, trying not to think about the decision she would have to make. "Amber," Charlie began hesitantly, "what if there was a reason for you to stay? A really good reason?" Before she could answer, the first thunder echoed across the sky. In a matter of minutes, the rain began with a violence typical of summer storms. The wind shook the clinic's windows, and the power flickered several times. "This doesn't look good," Amber murmured, looking at the sky. The forecast was for light rain. The storm intensified rapidly. In an hour, the streets of White Rock were flooded. The electricity failed completely, leaving the clinic in the dark. Amber turned on the emergency generator, but it was having problems and only worked for short periods. It was then that they heard desperate knocking at the door. Amber opened it and found Mrs. Teresa, an elderly lady from downtown, soaked and carrying a box. "Dr. Amber, please help me. I found these kittens abandoned in the rain." In the box were 4 kittens, wet and shivering from cold. Amber brought them in quickly, beginning first aid. Charlie, without being asked, began to help, drying the little ones with heated towels. "Where did you find them, Mrs. Teresa?" "Under the bridge downtown. The mother was nowhere to be found. With all this rain, they would have—" The lady didn't finish her sentence, but everyone understood. Amber checked the kittens one by one. They were dehydrated and hypothermic, but alive. "We're going to need to keep them warm and fed. Charlie, can you stay here while I prepare the bottles?" "Of course, I can stay as long as you need." While they worked to save the kittens, the storm continued furiously outside. The generator failed definitively around noon, leaving the clinic without power. Amber improvised with candles and flashlights, but the situation was becoming critical. "Amber, Hope's puppies are getting very quiet," Charlie alerted, concerned. It was true. Without the artificial heating, the temperature in the clinic had dropped considerably. The puppies were huddling together, seeking warmth from each other. "We need to take them somewhere warm," Amber decided. "Does your house have a generator?" "No, but I have a fireplace and I live alone." The decision was quick. They wrapped all the animals in blankets and ran under the rain to Charlie's car. The trip to his house, normally 5 minutes, took more than 20 due to the flooded streets. Charlie's house was simple but cozy. He immediately lit the fireplace and arranged an improvised area for the animals near the heat. Amber was surprised by the organization and care with which he prepared everything. "You have a knack for this," she commented, while checking if everyone was warm. "Maybe I just needed the right opportunity to discover it." They spent the afternoon caring for the animals in shifts. Charlie proved to be surprisingly skilled, quickly learning how to feed the puppies and identify signs of trouble. Amber observed him, discovering facets of him that she had never imagined. "Charlie, can I ask you a personal question?" "Of course. Why do you work at the gas station? I mean, you clearly have potential for other things." He was quiet for a moment, feeding one of the kittens. "After I came back from the army, I was lost. The gas station was the first place that gave me a job. I ended up staying out of complacency, you know. But lately I've been thinking that maybe it's time for a change." "Change how?" "I don't know yet, but maybe do something that really matters, like what you do." That night, as the storm continued to roar outside, Amber and Charlie took turns caring for the animals. Hope's smallest puppy finally showed signs of improvement, nursing with more vigor. The kittens were also recovering. During a break, sitting on the couch with the flames of the fireplace dancing on the wall, Charlie broke the silence. "Amber, do you really want to go to New York?" The question she had been avoiding all night. "I always thought I did. It's an incredible opportunity, you know. Cutting-edge clinic, complex cases, professional recognition. But today, caring for these little ones with you, I wonder if professional recognition is all that matters." Charlie turned to face her. "Amber, I need to tell you something. I've been in love with you for 2 years. I never had the courage to speak up because I knew about your plans to leave. But now, seeing all this..." He gestured to the animals, sleeping peacefully. "I want to be part of this. I want to learn to care for them like you do. I want to build something here with you." Amber felt her heart race. "Charlie, you don't have to answer now. I just want you to know that you have choices, and whatever your decision, I'll respect it." The storm began to calm down in the early hours of the morning. Amber was lying on the couch, blanket over her shoulders, watching Hope and her puppies sleeping peacefully near the fireplace. Charlie had fallen asleep in the armchair, a kitten in his lap. Looking at that scene, Amber began to understand that sometimes life's greatest opportunities don't come in the form of job offers or big cities. Sometimes they come disguised as unexpected storms, abandoned animals, and brave men who show up when we need them most. The sun of the following morning brought a deceptive calm. Amber woke up to the sound of Charlie preparing coffee in the kitchen. Hope and her puppies were fine, as were the rescued kittens from the storm. For the first time in days, everyone seemed out of danger. "Good morning," Charlie smiled when she entered the kitchen. "How do you feel?" "Confused," Amber answered honestly. "Very confused." They drank coffee in comfortable silence, watching through the window the damage left by the storm. Fallen branches, huge puddles, but also a clear sky that promised a better day. Amber's phone rang. New York again. This time the voice on the other end was firmer, less understanding. "Dr. Amber, I'm sorry, but we can't wait any longer. If you don't show up today by 5 in the afternoon, we'll offer the position to another candidate." "I understand. Can I have until 5? "Until 5. When she hung up, Charlie was watching her. "Final decision?" "Seems like it." They decided to take the animals back to the clinic, where they could receive proper care. On the way, they stopped at the market to buy supplies. It was there that they found an unusual commotion. "Dr. Amber." Mrs. Rose, the bakery owner, came running. "I'm so glad I found you. You need to see what's happening in the square." Intrigued, they followed her to the town's central square. A crowd had formed around the gazebo. In the center, they recognized Roger arguing heatedly with several people from town. "That dog belongs to me," Roger shouted. "I knew her first. She was on my land." "That's not true," retorted Mr. John, a respected farmer in the region. "She was on public land. I saw when the doctor found her." Amber and Charlie approached, trying to understand the situation. It was then that they realized the subject of the discussion was Hope. "Dr. Amber." Roger saw her and came in her direction. "You're going to hand over my dog to me. I have rights over her." "What rights?" Amber kept her voice calm but firm. "She was near my farm. That makes her my property." "She was on public land," Charlie intervened. "I myself can testify to that." "Nobody asked for your opinion, young man." The tension was increasing when a familiar voice cut through the air. "Roger, I think you'd better reconsider." Everyone turned. It was Dr. Henry, accompanied by 2 police officers. "Doctor, I'm glad you arrived," Amber sighed with relief. "Amber, I need to speak with you privately," Dr. Henry said, with a serious expression she didn't recognize. They moved away from the crowd a bit. Charlie stayed nearby, keeping an eye on Roger. "Amber, something happened that you need to know. Last night after the storm, we received an anonymous tip about dog fighting on Roger's farm." Amber felt a chill in her stomach. "And?" "The police raided the place. They found several pieces of evidence, including female dogs that had been forced to breed in terrible conditions. One of them, Amber, one of them looked a lot like Hope." "What are you saying?" "I'm saying it's possible that Hope escaped from Roger's farm. If that's true, she wasn't lost in the woods. She was running away." Amber felt as if the ground had disappeared beneath her feet. She looked at Roger, who was still arguing with other people, and saw not just a stubborn farmer, but a dangerous man. "Doctor, what do we do?" "The police will investigate. If we can prove that Hope came from his farm, Roger will have much bigger problems than a dispute over an animal." They returned to where the crowd was. One of the police officers approached. "Roger, Mr. Roger Sanders." "That's me, so what? You need to come with us to provide clarification about illegal activities on your property." Roger's face paled. "What activities? I don't know anything." "Animal fighting is a crime, sir, as is animal abuse." As Roger was being led away by the police, the crowd commented animatedly. Amber felt a hand on her shoulder. It was Charlie. "Is everything okay?" "I don't know if Hope really escaped from there. Charlie, imagine what she went through. But now she's safe and has a new family." "New family?" Charlie smiled shyly. "Well, I was thinking, if you go to New York, someone needs to take care of her and the puppies. I'd like to apply for the job." Amber looked into his eyes, seeing a determination there that she had never noticed before. Charlie, taking care of 5 animals is no joke. It's a lifetime responsibility. I know, and I'm ready for that. Actually, I think I always have been. I just needed to find a reason. They returned to the clinic in silence. Amber checked all. The animals, who were recovering well. Hope's smallest puppy had gained weight remarkably. The kittens were playful and healthy. "Amber," Charlie said as he watched her work, "can I ask you a question?" "Sure. What really makes you happy? I mean, when do you feel complete?" Amber stopped what she was doing and reflected. "Moments like this. When I can make a difference in the life of a being that needs help. When I see an animal recovering, a family forming. And do you think you'll find that in New York? I don't know. Maybe yes, maybe no. New York represents professional growth, recognition, money. But does it make you happy?" Amber was silent. It was a simple question, but with a complicated answer. "You know what makes me happy," Charlie continued. "These last few days with you. Seeing how your eyes shine when you care for these animals. Seeing your passion, your dedication, and discovering that I can be part of that too." "Charlie, let me finish. I know I can't compete with an opportunity in New York. I can't offer you big salaries or professional recognition, but I can offer you partnership, companionship, and the chance to build something together here." Amber felt tears forming in her eyes. "Charlie, I don't want you to change your life because of me. I'm not changing because of you, I'm changing for me. These days have shown me who I really want to be, and I want to be someone who makes a difference like you." The phone rang again. This time it was Dr. Henry. "Amber, I have news. The investigation at Rogers' farm revealed something interesting. They found records of a golden dog that disappeared a week ago. The description matches Hope perfectly. So she really did escape from there." "It seems so. And there's more. Roger confessed that he was forcing her to breed constantly. Hope was pregnant for the 3rd time in 2 years. She escaped when she realized he was going to separate her from her previous puppies." Amber closed her eyes, imagining the dog's desperation. "Where are the other puppies?" "They were confiscated and are being cared for. But Amber, this means that Hope and this litter are officially yours. No one else has rights over them." When she hung up, Charlie was watching her anxiously. "Hope escaped," Amber said simply. "She escaped to save her puppies." "Like a mother would," Charlie murmured. "She knew that if she stayed, she would lose her babies." Amber looked at Hope, who was resting peacefully with her puppies. The dog had risked everything to give her family a better chance. And now, Amber found herself facing the same choice. Risk everything for a chance at real happiness. "Charlie," she said finally, "I need to tell you something. Since I met you, I've always admired your kindness, but I never thought of you as something more. But these last few days..." "Amber, you don't have to. Let me finish. These last few days have shown me a side of you I didn't know. Your courage, your kindness, your capacity to love. And they've also shown me that sometimes life's best opportunities aren't where we think they are." Charlie took a step forward. "What are you saying?" "I'm saying that New York can wait, or maybe it doesn't have to wait, because maybe I've already found my opportunity here." The clock struck 4 in the afternoon when Amber finally called New York. Her hands trembled slightly as she dialed the number, but her voice was firm when they answered. "Dr. Robert? This is Amber. I'm calling to inform you that I won't be able to accept the offered position." There was a pause on the other end. "Dr. Amber, I hope you understand that this is a definitive decision. If you change your mind later, we cannot reconsider." "I understand perfectly, and I'm sure of my decision." When she hung up, Charlie was waiting anxiously at the clinic door. "So?" "New York is history," Amber smiled. "Now I need to figure out what I'm going to do with my life here in White Rock." "I have some ideas about that," Charlie said, coming in and closing the door behind him. They sat on the floor next to Hope and her puppies. The small animals played happily, completely oblivious to the important decisions being made around them. "Charlie, I need to be honest with you," Amber began. "I'm not staying just for you. I'm staying because I realized this is where I can really make a difference. I know, and that's exactly why I'm even more in love with you. Amber felt her face flush. What do you mean? Amber, you just gave up an incredible opportunity in New York to care for abandoned animals in a small town. You did that because it's who you are, a person who puts the welfare of others ahead of your own interests. How could I not love a person like that? Before Amber could respond, Dr. Henry entered the clinic carrying a bottle of champagne and smiling from ear to ear. Doctor, what are you celebrating? Several things, my dear. First, Roger has been formally charged and won't be bothering anyone anymore. Second, the town approved the budget to expand our clinic. And third, he made a dramatic pause, I received a very interesting call from New York. Amber frowned. New York? It seems your reputation has reached the ears of some important people. The work you did saving hope and organizing care during the storm impressed a lot of people. I received a proposal to establish an animal rescue and rehabilitation program here in White Rock with funding from the city. What do you mean? They want to create a regional reference center here, with you as coordinator, better salary than New York, first-rate resources, but working with what you love, rescue and rehabilitation cases. Amber was speechless. Charlie held her hand. And there's more, Dr. Henry continued. They'll need a field coordinator, someone to do the rescues, and first aid. It needs to be someone brave, reliable, who understands animals. Charlie and Amber looked at each other. Doctor, are you suggesting? Charlie, you saved a life when you prevented Roger from taking Hope. You showed courage, initiative, and a natural instinct for the work. If you're interested, the position is yours. Charlie went pale. Doctor, I don't have formal experience. Experience can be acquired. Character cannot. And you've already proven to have character to spare. Amber squeezed Charlie's hand. Do you accept? If you accept your position, I'll accept mine. Then we have a deal, Amber smiled. The days that followed were a whirlwind. Paperwork to sign, equipment to order, spaces to renovate. Amber and Charlie worked side by side, planning the future of the rescue center. Hope recovered completely, becoming a happy and playful dog. Her puppies grew quickly, each developing their own personality. The smallest, which Amber had affectionately nicknamed Warrior, became the bravest of the group. Look at that, Charlie said one morning, watching the puppies play in the spacious yard of the new facility. Who would have thought that small, fragile being would become the leader of the pack? Sometimes the greatest strengths come from the smallest bodies, Amber reflected. Like Hope. She seemed so fragile when I found her, but had the courage to escape and save her puppies. Like you, Charlie said softly. You had the courage to change course when you discovered what really mattered. Amber turned to him. The last few weeks they had become work partners, but also something more. There was no rush, no pressure. The relationship was growing naturally, like plants after the storm. Charlie, can I ask you a question? Always. Do you regret leaving? The gas station? Never. For the first time in my life, I wake up knowing I'm going to do something that matters, and even better. He held her hands. I wake up knowing I'm going to work with the most incredible person I've ever met. The official inauguration of the White Rock Animal Rescue and Rehabilitation Center took place 2 months later. The entire town attended, along with authorities from the city and representatives from other animal protection organizations. Amber and Charlie cut the ribbon together with Hope and her puppies by their side. The dog wore a new collar with a small tag where her name was written, no longer a lost animal, but a survivor who had found her family. During the ceremony, Dr. Henry gave an emotional speech about second chances and the importance of following one's heart. But it was Amber's speech that touched the attendees the most. A few months ago, I thought I knew exactly what I wanted from life. I thought happiness was in distant places, in big, shiny opportunities. But life taught me that sometimes the best opportunities appear in disguise. Disguised as storms, as injured animals, as brave people who show up when we need them most. She looked at Charlie, who smiled back. Hope taught me that a mother is capable of anything to protect her family. Charlie taught me that courage is not the absence of fear, but acting even while feeling afraid. And you people of this wonderful town taught me that sometimes our place in the world is not where we think it should be, but where we are most needed. 6 months later, the center had already rescued and rehabilitated more than 50 animals. Amber and Charlie worked in perfect harmony, she coordinating the medical care, he doing the field rescues. On a Saturday morning, Charlie appeared at the clinic more nervous than usual. Amber, can you come with me? There's something I want to show you. Intrigued, she followed him to the backyard where a surprise awaited her. Charlie had set up a special area for Hope and her puppies, with individual houses, a dog pool, and plenty of space to play. Charlie, this is amazing, but why? Because, he knelt down, taking a small box from his pocket. I want Hope to be the first to know that I intend to ask her human mom to marry me. Amber felt the air leave her lungs. Charlie. Amber, these months working with you have been the best of my life. Waking up, knowing I'm going to see you, going to sleep, knowing we've built something together. I want to spend the rest of my life by your side, saving animals, building families, being happy. Amber looked around. Hope was lying on the grass with her puppies, all healthy and happy. The kittens they had rescued in the storm played near the fence. The center buzzed with the activity of dedicated volunteers. Yes, she said, tears running down her face. 1,000 times yes. When Charlie slid the ring on her finger, Hope approached and put her head in Amber's lap, as if she knew something special was happening. I think she approves, Charlie laughed, petting the dog. She knows how to recognize a good family when she sees one, Amber replied, kissing him softly. A year later, Amber and Charlie got married at the center itself, surrounded by family, friends, and dozens of rescued animals. Hope was the canine maid of honor, wearing a ribbon bow around her neck. During the ceremony, the pastor made an observation that was engraved in the hearts of all those present. Sometimes God puts obstacles in our path, not to prevent us from getting where we want, but to show us where we really need to be. And V. So what began as a morning walk that would change one life became the foundation of a family, a prosperous rescue center, and proof that sometimes the greatest blessings come disguised as challenges. The end. Dear listeners, we hope that the story of Amber, Charlie, and Hope has deeply touched your hearts. This journey shows us that sometimes life's greatest opportunities don't arrive as we expect, but as we need. Amber discovered that her true calling wasn't in the big city, but in her own community, saving lives and building true bonds. If this story moved you as much as it did us, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more narratives that celebrate love, courage, and compassion. Click the like button if you believe, as we do, that small actions can generate great transformations. And in the comments, tell your own stories of animals that changed your lives. We love reading each one of them. Remember, sometimes destiny disguises itself as a storm to show us where our true home is. Don't miss our upcoming content,